Hi everyone, Rhonda here. What I'm going to show you in this video is how to create cards like this on your homepage. So this is a special tool that I've created just for Cuyamaca College, and you won't be able to do this at Grossmont or any other college at this point in time. I hope to give that away to everybody in the future, but I need it to be tested a little bit more before I do that. Anyway, so basically you just add this class equals CC cards to a bulleted list, and that creates these cards. Well, it's a little bit more complicated than that, and there's actually several steps to accomplish that. So let's go over to Teaching with Canvas course, and if you go to modules and come on down to the course resources and then click on cards. And so this is the page with the instructions, and you can see that there are 15 steps to get this to work. So that's quite a bit, but it's all pretty doable. And while I'm here, I'm just going to grab this one piece of information here so that I'm going to highlight it, right click, copy that, get it on my clipboard so I can use it later when I'm in my sandbox. So I'll just do that now. I wanted to mention that you can have cards like this with images, but you can also have cards without any images. Like on this student services page, we didn't have the pictures to put in here when we created the page, and I don't know if we'll ever get around to it, but at some point in time we may add pictures to this. But in the meantime, these cards work just fine to create a list of items on a page. Now I'm going to come over to my sandbox and add that to my home page. I already started that page, so I'll go to Pages and Home Page, and then I'll click on Edit. Now, as you can see, we already had the navigation buttons up at the top, and I want to make sure that I say something in between the navigation and this. So you can type in whatever you want there. But there should be something between the cards and the navigation, I would guess, just for aesthetics. All right, so now I'm ready to put my cards down here below my welcome message. So I have the cursor here, and what I do is the same thing I did for those navigation bar buttons. Just click on Bulleted List and start creating my links. So week 1, mine is in weeks, so that's just the name of my modules. Now you don't want to have a lot of text here. This should keep the text for these links very, very short, because there's only so much room to put those in. Right? Now I'm going to do the HTML stuff on this before it gets too complicated, right? Once I add the images and I add all the links, that adds a whole lot of code to the HTML. So before it gets real complicated, I'm going to put the class on my bulleted list, which is an unordered list. And so I'm going to go into my HTML editor, and I'm looking for UL tags on the left here. So here's my first UL tag, and it is my navigation bar with my purple buttons. So I'm going to scroll down. What I'm doing is I'm scanning the left here, and I'm scanning the left to find UL tags. Now this is the closing UL tag for the navigation buttons. So now I come to this one, and it's the UL tag, and it's sitting above my links, and so that looks perfect. So now I'm just going to highlight that UL tag, and I'm going to right click and paste in the UL tag that has the class equals CC -cards in it. And that's what makes it into cards eventually. We're not quite there yet. Okay, so back into I went back to the rich content editor here. To get the images, I'm going to come over on my sidebar on the right here, and I'm going to click on Images. And I'm just going to start assigning some images before those weeks. So what I'm doing is I'm just clicking in week 2. I'm using my left arrow key on my keyboard to position the cursor right before the W. And let me put in another one. And I'll do the same thing now and pick another image And I'll pick another, and here's week 4, and we'll use this one for week 4. All right, so now we have 4 bullets with with the image and then the name of the module. All right, so now what you need to do, and if I'm not sure, let's see what happens if I save now. So now we have the week, but the text is over to the right, which makes sense because that's where it is on our in our rich content editor, right? So let's go back and edit this some more. So the next thing we need to do, so it doesn't really turn into a card until you make it into a link. So you have to highlight both the text and the image in one click and drag, so that it's blue like this. And then I'm going to come over here to my my links tab and click on modules and choose week 1 to assign the link to week 1 to that text and that image. And it's easiest if you start to the right of the text. So I'll click to the right of the text and drag over across the image and select week 2 in my modules, week 3, and week 4. And here we go. So there's one more step we need to do, and that's, you notice when we went to that preview, we had the week on the same, to the right of the image, like it is right now. So we need to put a line break before that text. And so just single click anywhere on the link, and then use your left arrow keys to get the cursor right before the W. Now notice I'm going to press the left arrow key, and now my cursor disappears, but I know that I'm in the right spot because I just did a left arrow. I know exactly where I am. I'm just using my arrow keys right now. So what I need to do here to put that line break in is I have to hold down the Shift key and press the Enter key once, and that pushes the text of the link down below. Now there's a common mistake I make here all the time, and I forget to hold down the Shift key, and I just press Enter. And notice how when I did that, I got an extra bullet here. So if you get an extra bullet when you do that, that means that didn't work. So I'm gonna do a Control Z, which is an undo, and undo that mistake. And now I'm going to come here again. I'm going to single click anywhere on the link, put the cursor before the W, hold down the Shift key, and press Enter once. Here we go. Left arrow, Shift, Enter. Click, left arrow, Shift, Enter. And now, when I click Save, hopefully, we'll have our cards. There we go. That's how you create cards on your homepage at Cuyamaca College.